start this recording. Let's see. Hit a button. All right, and recording is on. This is Clarissa Pace. I am EVP Platinum with My Econ Incorporated, and I am the leader of Team Vision for now, but we're about to get a whole new logo and a whole new vision on Team Vision. And so tonight we are here to discuss our credit, and we want to take our associates and our guests over our credit repair, our smart credit repair kit, show them where they can download their credit reports. And we're going to understand this credit report, and hopefully we can help people get moved to the point to where they're initiating their letters and they've lost their fear, got a little understanding to move forward. So with that being said, I've asked some of you to share with us a little short testimony, very, very small. If it's in the area of credit and what, if you increased or what have you, whatever you've done between credit and debt, let's go ahead and get someone to volunteer and share right now. So who's gonna start us off?
I guess I'll start out. Good evening, Ms. Pace. Good evening, everybody, for being on the webinar and the call tonight. My name is Joseph McKee. I'm EVP with My Econ. And since I've been with My Econ, my credit score has increased, and I don't mind sharing this. I started out with a 524, and now I'm at a 563. I recently got approved for a secured Capital One card. And I'm in the process of starting a self-lender account, so I can use that as well to build credit. And so that's just one of the few of the things that I've learned since being a part of My Econ, and especially going through the Smart Money Credit Repair Kit.
All right, good deal. That's way to go, way to go. That's the way to work this financial education and income shifting. All right. Who's next? Who wants to share with us next? Who do we have? Have we lost some people? I see we got Chris, Monica, Latrice. Come on, share with us tonight.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay. Well, for me, I've been doing my debt elimination, and I've been able to eliminate about 1,300. And so from that, what I did monthly with that, I just sent it over to another bill that I have, and actually, in about 3 or 4 months, I have another 800 debt eliminated. So I'm kind of excited, and I've been in it for about 6 months, and I said I'm well on my way.
All right. Well, congratulations to you. So income shifting is working for you. That's more cash flow to the table, so you can get to the point to where you are truly, that asset cash is working for you. Congratulations to you. All right. Who's next? Will share with us.
Hey, Carissa, how you doing? I'm back. I'm on.
All right. I'm doing well.
All right, I'm Chris Allen, EVP Gold. I've been a part of My Econ for 6 years, and before that, I was buried in debt. Credit score was not where I wanted. I couldn't get approved for a house. That was one of the main goals of doing when I was upon completing college. Once I got a part of My Econ, I was able to use the Capital Strategist software, enter my information of my finance by budgeting better and by paying off debt. Then a year came around later, I was able to actually get approved for a home in my 20s. So since being in My Econ, cash flow over $50,000. So that's been a life changing for me and my family. That's what we've been on, because the strategies work.
All right. Congratulations, Mr. Chris. He is exactly right. That's Dr. Chris Allen, my brainchild, my my right-hand man. He's done a remarkable job following the principles of My Econ. All right, who's next? Okay.
Miss Pace,
Yes.
can you, well, I can barely hear you guys. Um, Recently, earlier in the year, we incurred some debt. Um, Really, I kind of playing with the deal. We bought a washer and we charged it. And I noticed my husband's score dropped 2 or 3 points to get to we went and I noticed last week I think it was it jumped back up 12 points. So we just thank God we both are over we're close to that 750 um point at this point. And we're just prayerfully and just been blessed where we've been able to keep it above 700.
Amen. Wonderful. I have been intending to post. I think it's for me. I think it's phenomenal to get to what do you call 700 and maintain. And so I actually started the 700 Club, and I got T-shirts to award everybody who gets that number, who gets 700 or above. So I'm going to post that because you're exactly right. It's a blessing to be 700 and above, okay, and maintaining. So good job, Miss Lambert. Thank you. Thank you. Anyone else? Okay. Well, listen, I'm going to get a little bit of my recent testimony. Pulled my husband's credit report. Well, 1 week is the credit score just by paying down debt increased by 63 points. Just paying down debt, and that just lets you know how important it is to, and how credit and debt run together, or how understanding credit is debt. Well, I'll talk a little bit more on that when I start when I start teaching. But recently took a look at his credit report, and I just thank God for knowledge, because I hadn't looked at it, and I saw like several things on there that were student loans that had open payments that were on each one of them. Only a couple it was not on. I saw where there was a repeat on a collection. There was a collection on there. I was like, you know what? We gonna get y'all. So I was just excited. And then there was a debt. I would say that that was $12,000. And with knowledge, we were able to call them and say, listen, and I used a strategy. I'm gonna actually tell you guys, we had been paying that debt, and I decided that I didn't want to pay them no more. Now, this is a strategy. You got to be brave to do this thing. And so I said to my husband, let's stop paying. And because according to what I understand, if you don't pay a debt from 120 to 180 days, somewhere 190 days, they're going to go to make an office to you. It will first go to their collection in-house office before it goes to a junk debt collector. So my goal was, this is too much, don't want to pay it anymore, that the amount that we had to pay on a monthly basis. So I said, if you trust me, let's take this time and let's not pay that debt, and give them time that we can go in and I can negotiate. Well, we did it, y'all. We went in and negotiated that debt right in the nick of time. And instead of paying $12,000, we're paying $3,200 back. So yes, because if you're not doing anything major, those are some of the things that you can do to actually help yourself out of some of the debt that you're in. You don't be doing that just to be doing it. But and I wouldn't have done it to 100 things, but there are more ways that you can do things other than go bankrupt. So that was just a situation I didn't want to deal with anymore, because it was taking up too much of my monthly cash flow. And so Ms. Pace said, listen, my husband trusted me, and we're selling that debt. Okay, so I'm excited about that, because at the same time, all we're going to do is shut down that debt. It's not going to be on be calculated to our score, But at the same time, if you have an understanding about how credit works, we started new credit that will actually absorb the points that would be taken away from their settlement. And so at the same time, oh, you got to be in the business. I've been in this business 14 years. At the same time, your score is going to increase, where it looks like it would decrease. But if you have new credit going on to take care of that one that you just allowed yourself to settle, you'll never miss a beat on the points. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited about knowledge. I know when there another time when I didn't have this knowledge, I would have dropped dead in my boots trying to deal. Oh my God, it's the worst thing in the world. But no, I knew a plan, and I have a plan. So a plan of action. So I got them letters out and making changes as we speak. Okay. So with that being said, Jeffrey, are you one of our credit restoration members or a member of the tell me more about yourself. Where are you from?
Good evening, man. I'm from Cleveland, Mississippi. I was invited to attend the class by Mr. Joseph McKee.
Okay.
He posted it into one of the groups that I attend, and me and him had several conversations before about me joining the credit restoration class. So I took this opportunity to actually get into your class and see what's going on.
Okay. Well, wonderful. I just didn't know who you were, and but we're glad to have you, and welcome to the team, and we hope that you will be a long-time member, because one of the things that we have learned about money is that it's not really a quick fix, but if you have the right mentorship and the right coaching and the right knowledge, you'll be able to take care of all of your money and actually move to a place of wealth. Okay, so we thank you this evening for joining us. I see that we have at least 5 of you who are on the call. I'm sorry, I did not find out in time how to actually hear you speak, but if you are one of our credit restoration members on GroupMe and you have any questions tonight, then feel free to put them on the GroupMe. That's the only way I'm going to be able to see it, because you're not actually on the video, you're on the phone. Or you can actually, if you have an upline that is here, go ahead and text them if you have a question, let them know. If you are someone who is connected to me, text my cell number 870-723-9820 if you have a question at any time that I am teaching, okay? So all minds clear, let's get started. Tonight,
Oh no, I'll share it later. I'm sorry. Go ahead and start.
It's okay.
I was wondering if everybody knew that Experian now is making it easier for you to get your credit report. You can actually run it yourself instead of, you remember in the past, I guess since they had all those problems and everything, you had to mail a letter in, but now you can actually run it off the computer.
It's always been able to be downloaded. The only time that the letters had to be sent off is if you did not answer the questions according to they were trying to identify you, and then they would have it to where you would have to send in a letter, and that's all of them, as a matter of fact. Okay, you would end up having to send in a letter, but they did change, and we're going to take a look at that. They did change the look of their credit report, and I've got both of them up tonight. Needless to say, I really don't like it. Being experienced, I think I know what they did. So let's just get started. I am back here in our back office because I wanted to. Does everybody see my back office?
Yes.
Okay. And I stayed in the back office because I want to show you guys how to go to your Smart Credit Repair Kit. Now, Mr. Walker, you're here. If you become a full-fledged membership of My Econ, you will have a back office that looks like this. And any of the rest of you, I hate that you are on the phone, but you will have a back office, and here's where you can obtain your Smart Money Kit, or you will be able to go to your income shifting membership and it will be there. Let me go ahead and click out of this, and I'm going to go over to, I'm going to go over to home, because if you just become a Smart Credit Repair Kit customer, you will need to go to Mr. Key's website, click on products, and when you click on products, you can click on Smart Credit Repair System, and then you can purchase this system alone or standalone system for $99.99. And you're going to have the same information that we have as a full membership of the business. But what you won't have is you won't have us mentoring you. You won't have the expertise and the opportunity to ask questions. This is a do-it-yourself kit. And so you get it, you go through it, and you do the best that you can with it, okay? So we've got some do-it-yourself members that got the full membership who may be on the call. And this is why we give them the opportunity, because they, at any point that they want to earn extra income, if they need to budget their home finances and they want to actually put down debt elimination plan and so forth, they got all of the meat to do so, and they have access to video training for investments, the leaders, wealthy people, the millionaires here, testimonies, everything is here in this BMC home for them to work with. So we're going to get started, and we're going to go over here to our Smart Credit Repair Kit and open it up. Now, those of you who are on here tonight, you should already be at this point. This is why I'm not going to go over the introduction of the Smart Credit Repair Kit, but I am going to navigate down to the fact to where, and I'm going to pull this up some more, to where you can obtain your credit report. That's going to be in module 2, okay? And that's going to share, there are several places you can get your credit report. First of all, if you have the Smart Money Kit, you have your own credit monitoring system, and you can actually order your reports there. You can order all 3 of your reports from annualcreditreport.com. And I'm going to say this as a disclaimer: stop being cheap. You get what you paid for. If you're gonna get those reports free and you're trying to build new credit or raise your credit score, guys, you gotta purchase the score. A lot of people get so tight. Well, why I gotta do my score? Why? Well, how are you gonna know that you have increased? What are you gonna do? Play guessing games and get a couple of things deleted and go to the bank and then say, and hope you're sitting there and have the right score? No, of course not. That's not wise. The whole point of empowering you is so you will have your plan in place so that when you go to initiate your credit for any reason, you already know what you're working with. So you're going to want to purchase your credit score, or you're going to get a system with a tri-merge report to where you can get all 3 of the reports, and you can get all 3 of the scores along with it, okay? I also want to let you know this about credit reports. Credit reports are actually called consumer disclosures, okay? They are consumer disclosures. At any time that we pull any of these credit reports, guys, it could match to the T when you go to the bank, or it could be lower, or it could be higher. The reason is because as a consumer, you do not have access to the true banking scores, hardly any of them. Now, my system with my company is the closest that to get the FICO score, which you will see in your kit what the score is and how everything is scored. We've already done a training on that. But the most common scoring system is the FICO system. And then the other scoring system is your Vantage scoring system, okay? And so what you're trying to reach, get the closest you can to what the banks and the lenders have and to go by, okay? So you don't need to be surprised up front if something doesn't match. Now, let's talk about Credit Karma, because that's a question. Well, or people are so proud they have Credit Karma. Credit Karma is good. It's good for small monitoring that you're doing. Is free. What happens is you do not get all 3 of the credit reports. That's a disadvantage. You don't. And then if you're going to print out, or you want to see the items that are listed on your credit report, they're not going to be detailed. Okay, and I'll explain. They're not going to be detailed, but the positive about the Credit Karma is that you have something to gauge by, and they will give you certain offers on there, quite frankly, that I like, that will help you rebuild your credit in different ways. And so that information on there is really good, but it should not be your final stop, because it's not totally what you need to get your credit in shape, okay? When I say it doesn't have a full credit report, when you start to look at your report, you want to see every line there is to make sure that everything on your credit report is accurate. Why do we want to make sure that everything is accurate? Number one, because the government said it. The government said it, and when they initiated the Fair Credit Reporting Act, I think it was 1972, they ruled that every citizen, they have to report, the credit bureaus have to report your credit exactly like you have been paying your debt and your late payments and so forth, but it's got to be 100% accurate. Bottom line, it has to be 100% accurate. Now, when you get these other reports from just say Credit Karma, and I'm not down in this at all, but they do not list everything on the reports for you to tell whether or not it's accurate or inaccurate. You're going to need date of last activity. You're going to need the date that you opened. You're going to need balances. You're going to need to know, you're going to need to have a ledger that tells your payment, if it was paid late, paid on time, detailed where you can see dates and so forth. And you don't have access to, you're going to need status. You're going to need comments that are made. Everything on a line item or a trade line that is reported on your credit report should be correct. It should be just like you have with the original debtor, the contract that you signed with them. If you had a contract, it needs to line up. Okay, so everybody understand that part. Just nod your head if you're on mute. Say yes if you are unmuted.
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay, and I have to do that because not you guys, but in the 14 years that I've done this, and I have sought to have my clients get a true copy of their report that we can work with. They have argued, they didn't want a copy, they wanted this one, they wanted that one, and they wouldn't trust what I was trying to tell them. They were cheap, didn't want to invest $8 into each one of them. Used to be $8 on the annual credit report. I think it's $8 for all three now, Ms. Lambert told us. And then I have a tri-merge that's a $1 for 7 days, and you can keep it later for $21.99 a month. So listen, you got to have the right tools in place so you can go to work. All right. Module 3, guys, module 3, how to read your credit report. So what I've done is, I'm not going to click on that. I have pulled up a credit report. Experian has a normal credit report online, okay? That's why I pulled this one, because this is directly what Experian used to look like. Now I'm just going to give you a little overview of what they look like now. They're huge and big, and we'll go over to their information. I've just been trying to work with this one, but I use one system when I have my clients because I think they're actually trying to confuse you. You guys have to understand that credit bureaus are big business. They're not here to be your friend. They were created to make money and make money for banks. And that's the bottom line. And so anyway, since people are waking up and they're getting smarter about taking their economy and doing better with it, they've got to have other ways to come at you, right? And so they are coming up with different ways to do that. So we've got to stay on top of things. But this is your credit report. I'm going to say that I don't like every credit report, again, because they have all the pie charts and all the jargon and all the stuff over there. And by the time you try to read all that stuff, you're still trying to find your way. Like if you like me, I want to go straight to the point. I want to go straight to my information that I need I want to go straight to that trade line. I want to straight to my inquiries and see what's going on. I don't really need all of that around the report. I can read that afterwards. So this one right here, the old one, and I'm using it because I want to take section by section and show you what's important, okay? Number one is your report number. On your credit report that you pull, you will have date and you will have numbers on them. The reason you pay attention to that is because when you write your letters, I don't know if it's on My Econ's letters, to be honest with you, but generally you refer to the report number and the date of which you pulled your credit report and where you pulled it from, so that you can show the bureaus that you have the most recent report and where you got it, okay? Be specific. And then, because, okay, I'm kind of all over the place, but if you don't be specific on your letters in certain things, what happens is the bureau would think that you are frivolously disputing your report, and they will not do anything for you. You will get that letter that says, I believe I've actually gotten that letter, that this is a frivolous dispute, and we're not going to touch it. Where did you get it from? Who did it for you? All of that kind of stuff, okay? But this way they can see that you pulled your report. They can see, all right? Now, number two on here, it talks about the index. That may be different on different credit reports, but all this is different categories here, to where if you want to take a shortcut and go straight to the meat of the thing, you can click on that and go to it. Most all of the reports, the consumer disclosures I've seen, have an index to where you can bypass a lot of the information and go straight to what you need. Now, this one here is number 3. On most of them, if you have public records, well, this one has the public record first. There's another report that has the public records last. It really doesn't matter what order it's in, but I want to show you the details that you need to be looking for. So this is a public record. When you look at your public records, you want to make sure that Maine County Clerk is actually who has that public record. You want to make sure that the addresses are correct. Your ID number is correct if this is you. You want to make sure that the plaintiff against you, that information, all of what you see here should be listed. And if you go, say for instance, if you go to Credit Karma and you see this public records, you're going to be missing some of the very information that you will need in order to dispute this item as erroneous, okay? And so it's important that you have the date that it was filed, the date that it was resolved, who is the responsible party, the amount, the liability amount, what the status is, and the details of that of that public record. Like this item was verified and updated on April 2012. All right, and it could say, it could have a line on there that is due to be deleted or on April 2012. Okay, that's the credit bureaus making statements and updates on this item and what should happen to it and what has happened to it. Okay, now you're going to have a section on your credit reports that are going to go from public records to your credit items. In our line of work, we call them trade lines. So now we're going to take a look at your trade lines. When you look at your trade lines, again, what is the name of the trade line? Sometimes you look at this stuff and you say, I don't even recognize this debt. I don't recognize it. That's good. That's actually good that you don't recognize it, because you're going to dispute this item on the fact that it's unrecognizable. You've never opened a report on 10/2012. See how simple that is? And then you're going to ask them to delete it because that's not a date of which you've made a contract with this bank. The address on here should be the address of the bank. Your account number should match. Your status, paid, past, due 60 days. If you were not due 60 days, how about you going to dispute this item on the fact that you have paid it on time and you've never been late, please update the status. Sometimes you don't need them deleted. You would need them updated so you can get a better score. Okay? We have a thing in credit that's called rebucketing. The reason you would change a late payment and get it updated to paid in full or paid never late is because it will rebucket you into another group of clients or consumers. That's how your score is increased. Okay, let me break that down for you. If you are in a ratio of 10 people and all 10 of you have 5 late payments, you are bucketed in this group of people who have 5 late payments, and that is how you're going to be scored. So you're at a lower level and you're going to score low. Now, when you change that and you update that payment to show paid, never late, it's going to take you out of that bucket with people who pay their debt late, and it's going to put you in a new bucket of people who pay their debt on time, and maybe they have only 3 or only 2 trade lines that they've been late on. So that's how you're going to continue to raise your score. Do y'all understand that? Okay, so that's how this happens. So everything on here, you got high balance, recent payment. Let me say something. On high balance, if you see NA, you want everything on this item correct, right? So if you know what your high balance was, that will give you a ratio. They're supposed to report every little thing on here. Recent balance is 0, but let's say your it has, let's see. Your credit line is $523. High balance would help you if you've never gone past $400 on this credit, then it needs to be there so that the ratio between the credit, the high balance, and the recent balance will give you a higher score. Okay? So these are the things you're going to take a look at, because this is going to be calculated. If you have made it within the ratio and you've not gone over your limit, your credit limit, that's going to give you a good score. So these items should be listed true to this debt. And in the event that there's some late payments on there, like this one got 60 days late and so forth, and then it doesn't have a high balance, don't deal with the lates. Go over here and ask for deletion because there's no high balance reported. Y'all got that? See what I'm saying? Thank you, Joseph. You caught that, right? All right. Okay, I'm just throwing in some hints to you. Now, same thing here. I'm just going to go through. This is another trade line. Now, they're going to put statements. They will put statements on here like item disputed by consumer. After you, that's in waiting. What that's saying from the credit bureau is they do not have an answer from that creditor yet. Okay? But guess what? According to the Fair Credit Reporting Act, they got to verify. They got to have an answer. Matter of fact, they got to validate, because verification and validation is 2 different things. Verification is verifying who you are, your address, your social security number, your telephone number, that kind of stuff. But validation is addressing the contract agreement that you have between yourself and this creditor. So if you disputed this item and they come back and say item disputed by consumer, guess what? You get a chance to go back and dispute that item to say you have not validated this debt. And then there should be a letter in there that shows you how to what to ask for, the instruments to ask for in order for them to validate the debt. And they have to report to you and tell you how they do that. If they can't validate it, guess what? You're asking them to delete this item.
Right.
Okay? Now, you're going to have a section for accounts in good standing. Okay, so we've got a car here. And listen again, high balance, they could have put $10,355 for the high balance. but we do have recent balance for 7,984. Now, let me tell you what would be a problem to any debt that's in good standing. Good standing means you paying it on time, you've never been late. Basically, that's what it means. They've not had any trouble with that thing. But good standing debts can still lower your score because of if this debt, let's say it was a credit card debt. Let's look on here and see if they got a credit card. No. But let's say it was a credit card debt. And that credit card debt has $10,000 credit limit. Your high balance has been 11,350, which means that you went over the limit. You had some fees and stuff like that attached. Or you can say your recent balance, if the credit line is 10,000, your recent balance is $999.99. It is above 38% of the credit line, which is called utilization. It's going to affect your utilization and it's going to lower your score. So now, this brings me to the point of talking to you guys about debt. I want you to say with me, credit is debt. 1, 2, 3.
Credit is debt.
Credit is debt.
Okay, I want you to get that in your spirit, that credit is debt. Okay? And so the opposite to that is, if you would pay your debt, then your credit would be excellent. So the whole point is that if you continue to run up your credit cards, there's nothing, I have some clients that have an astronomical amount of balances on their credit card and major, when I say I had a customer who had 38 pages. And on those pages, they had credit cards and credit something galore. What happens is they were saying they wanted their credit score increased, but they had balances on all of their credit cards and the high balances. And I'm like, what you need to do is pay your debt off. They didn't believe that. They went to somebody else. Well, do what you got to do, boo. But you got to debt, if you have balance and it's too high. And this is why in my econ and our smart credit repair system, don't get stuck over here at the 750 plan with just the videos. You, in a minute, I'm going to show you, you need to go to the debt elimination program. Because just like my husband, we eliminated a couple of things on his credit report and his credit score shot up 63 points. I got a notice that said, congratulations, Jerome B. Pace score increased 63 points. That was simply for paying off a debt. Okay? So it's important that your credit works with your debt management all day, every day, people. And this is why the total income shifting program is better when you work it all, because you find an increase in cash flow. If you don't have an extra job, you don't have an extra business, you do have, if you're in my econ, a way to make extra income. But if you haven't been bringing extra, you need extra. You need a way to get extra cash flow coming in. So this is why we start with lowering your taxes by operating your business legally and lowering those taxes, changing your W-4 by introducing this system to other people, ranking up to EVP Infinity CEO, making $6,000 a week if you may, getting to the point to where you're eliminating the debt. And like Ms. Monica said earlier, every time she eliminates debt, that gives her new cash flow for her to work on the next debt.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And this is also why you need budgeting, because most of us who get in trouble with these credit cards do not have a written budget. And so you have a cash flow manager system that will help you say, no, I can't afford it. I won't get it. Wait till next month. Okay? All right. Now, let's take a look. Any questions? All right. Now, there's a place on this credit report for your, it's going to show credit history. It's going to show inquiries. Now, there are some inquiries that are soft pulls that you can do. Anytime you pull your own credit, it doesn't affect your score. Well, I'm going to take this back and tell y'all the truth. There are some companies that say, I'm going to do a soft pull. People, there's almost no such thing. I just really, unless I'm missing something, that's why I'm saying almost, as a soft pull. The inquiry is going to be on your credit report. Now, what we recommend you do, and I put this on our GroupMe, all of you to go to optoutprescreen.com. This will stop creditors and promotional people from going on your credit report, because when they do, it does affect your scores. Okay? So in this area, you want people to pull your credit report, only the ones that you have given permission to do so. If you have not given them permission to do so, then that should be a part of your dispute, and ask them to delete it. Another way for you to delete this item is that the statute of limitations on it is 2 years. So if you have inquiries that are older than 2 years from the present year, this is 2018. If that inquiry was done in 2015, ask for it to be deleted. Okay, it's got to be a whole 2 years though. So if this is August 10th, 2012, and got an August that runs into, say that was 2015, it's got to be past August 10, actually another month. It's got to be past this. That's how that rule works. Now, why do I want to get inquiries deleted? Number one, of course, you could, a number of them, you got to have several of them, to really make an impact on your score. They're generally anywhere from 2 points or 4 points. Okay, don't take a lot of points off. And then just having them deleted, they're not going to jack up the point major. Okay, once they're on there. However, you will have, you will go, say you were going to buy a house, or you were going to invest, use your credit to build wealth. You don't want to see where you've been trying to gain credit for everything that you do, and you got an astronomical list of things, because they're going to say you don't have no cash flow and you have no management skills. Again, you're going to be rebucketed differently if you have less inquiries on your credit report. Now, what happens when you go to car dealerships and you don't have that score that you need? They're going to run about 30 banks before they will come up with one to give you 22% interest rate, a 14% interest rate, and then tell you to say, thank you, God, you did it for me. Now you've got 30 inquiries on your credit report, and you've got high interest, which is stealing your money, and it's going to bring your credit score down. So you can dispute those because you didn't sign a contract with these companies for them to pull your credit report. Okay, so this dispute is, there was no permission for this company to pull my credit report. Please delete. Don't write a book. Don't write a 100-word statement ever. Okay. All right. Now, below here is your personal information. Of course, you want to make sure everything is correct. I'll give you a little short story. I was helping one of my family members, and they had a person with the same name out in California. Well, she actually had bankruptcy, okay, on there, chapter 13. But then she didn't finish the 13. But it was so much of Alameda, California on here, and a name just like hers, and so many addresses. Guess what we did, guys? We disputed every item that was negative on our credit report on the fact that the identification was incorrect and must be connected to these people, because we never had that debt before. Guess what? Wiped everything off. They just deleted everything because the identification was so bad. It really was. So there were some things that she was saying, I've never seen this before. I've never seen this before. And I said, oh, well, you never seen this one and this one either? So we did what we had to do. It was too inaccurate, the whole report. Okay. So they will have on all of these for you to make a personal statement. Guys, that's ludicrous. That is a trap. Do not be making no personal statements because you will own up to a debt. One thing's in court, if you go in court and they ask you the question over debt, did you ever pay this debt? Did you ever have a contract with it? If you say the word yes, but just yes, you incriminate yourself. You make it where you are responsible for that debt. That's all they want to get out of you is a yes. You come putting statements on here, they're going to say that's all they want. Yeah, I had a Sears account, but Sears didn't treat me right. The operator didn't talk to me right. And then I got sick, and then I couldn't pay. And then I couldn't, Clarissa. And then I couldn't. You see what I'm saying? So now you re-aged your accounts, and they're going to stick it to you and stay on there. So we're not practicing putting any type of personal statements on our credit reports, but it is on there. Okay? Now, sometimes it's amazing. Sometimes the number is there, and you can actually pick up the phone and call the credit bureau and say, this item is not mine. I want you to delete this. I did not do da, 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 da. But do not incriminate yourself. Okay? Now, this has been our session on understanding our credit report. The next thing we want to look at is once we take a look, let me go back. Once we take a look all over, guys, we're going to use a highlighting pen. Let me see if I got anybody else to bring in. I think everybody's on the phone. Okay, we're going to use a highlighting pen, and we're going to go over here and find what's inaccurate, right? And in our system, you actually have a Excel spreadsheet that is set for you to download so that you can keep up with every item on your credit report. I suggest you download that. Or if that's not working for you, you don't know how to put it in, make up your own system. But knowing when you sent your letters off to the credit bureau is important. And here's why. Because the law says that they must respond to you within 30 to 45 days. If they do not respond to you within that date that you mail that letter to them, how about you get a chance to go in and do a second dispute, show them the time that it was sent off to them, and then demand that every item that you asked for be deleted because they broke the law. Okay? So that's important. This is why I tell my clients, I'm telling all of you, this stuff is time sensitive when it comes to this. And this is the reason. Because not only do they want to catch us messing up, but we want to catch them messing up too. They have to abide by the law. And so when they mess up, that's to our advantage. Sometimes we can sue them for their mess ups. This is not the call for that, but we can and get paid. All right. Now, after you've highlighted everything and you know which items are negative, you know which of the information, if the high balance, the recent balance, the type is wrong, the 12-month term is wrong. If you find whatever inaccuracy, error, now I'm using these words because these are the words that are going to be used in your information provided. But your reports, what they move by is erroneous, inaccurate, incorrect. Okay? This is the language of which you're disputing things. So we're going to go over to the 750 credit plan. Now that you guys have pulled and looked over your reports, you've got letters, how to dispute items on your credit report. I've kind of given you a summary. You can not, oh boy, if you know what you're doing, you might can do a couple things online on disputing, and it'll move faster. They'll even respond to you by email. If you want to type the letter, these are templates for you. You can use the templates. They're already typed. There's some old information that says you have to write them. And then there's also some information that says you want to put only one line item at a time. I've been doing this a long time, peoples. And you can put bullets for 2 or 3 different areas. I wouldn't load it up with everything at the same time. I would be wise about it so you won't get that frivolous letter back to you. But you can put more than one item at a time. Okay? And that's why I suggest, if you want me to see your things, Miss Lambert is here. Dr. Allen can look over them. Listen, we'll look over it and see if you're doing fine. And if there's anything we think should be done differently, then we'll let you know, okay? But you could also snail mail these, or you can certify, okay? When it comes to credit, guys, there's more than one way to skin a cat. This is such a big field, and there are so many rules and so many ways that things can be done. I know some things we go by written in stone because it's online, but I'm just telling you out of experience, you can put them in snail mail. But the advantage of certifying your letters, is that you get a receipt back. And if you haven't written down the date that you sent your letters off, you'll actually have the proof there. And if you want to put a copy of the proof in the letter that says, here's my proof that you did receive this, and now I'm asking you to delete everything, you got something to run a copy of and put it in your letter back to them, okay? All right? So all of the rest of this, let's see, let me see if I find a sample letter. How to reduce credit utilization, how to dispute items on your credit report. Now let's see if this is where your letters are. How to mail your credit dispute letter. Okay, I like this. It's got the addresses on there. I was trying to find the letter. Guys, if you go through, I'm not gonna, wow. Okay, so I'm not gonna try to find that. That's why you have the system, how to mail credit dispute letters. Find it in your lesson on how to, on some of the dummy letters, guys. But the point tonight is, I just want to make you comfortable with the system and going through your modules and initiating your credit report, marking it up, and initiating your letters. If you don't ever get started somewhere, you're going to still be stuck. And this system is awesome enough for you, and the training is awesome enough for you to go ahead and make a difference. So you guys should be making a difference really immediately. There's no reason why. Let me tell you something. You guys are so fortunate, because when my econ, I'm going to show you the other part of the system in a minute. When my econ started the credit repair education, it was a huge book with over almost 200 and something pages. I still have a copy of everything. Everything. I went through the book. I wanted to do something, and we had been bankrupt. I found my score at 415. Out of bankruptcy as a wife, I took my husband to the bank and started getting stuff in his name, his credit score, and I was paying for it in his name, helping pay for the stuff. And my credit score was 415 and his was rising. So what is that saying about us as a couple? There are sometimes we keep asking the question, and we'll rely on the wife or the husband, and they got good credit, they can get everything. But okay, y'all need to be the same. You're one. Everybody's score need to be good. You never know when somebody gonna die, or you just want to do it so that when you go out to make purchases, you can use both of your incomes and both of your credits to do whatever it is you're trying to do with your credit. Okay? And so I read books, and in a matter of 3 days, I was getting a response back, because I wasn't scared. Y'all too scared. You got the information right there at your fingertips, and you won't even at least try it. They ain't gonna come put you in jail. And if it don't happen the first time, you got mentors. Go back over your system if you're doing it yourself. But if you're with mentors, ask a question, but get the job done. All they can say is, no, I ain't taking it off your credit report. And then we're going to figure out what you did wrong. If you didn't do anything wrong, we're going to find another tactic to use. And you be persistent. It's kind of like our Sunday school lesson from Sunday, the judge and the widow. Be persistent until you get a breakthrough. But don't just not do nothing. And that might not even be good grammar. Okay? Now, you got your 750 monitoring system. I was telling you about getting your credit reports. You got it right here. And Joseph, y'all can help me. If they actually enroll into their own system because they have the full membership, My Econ membership with their Smart Money Kit, Smart Credit Repair Kit, don't they get a residual pay from being in the, getting their own monitoring system?
I think that's correct.
Okay, all right. So you guys that are here and you just got your Smart Credit Repair System, you actually have access to sharing this with your family and friends, and they enroll and help themselves. You will get paid a referral fee for it, okay? Now, let's take a look at the income shifting. Everything we talked about debt, and we talked about the things you need to pull together your credit and to get your personal finances in place. These are your videos, and you have access to the software to actually make that happen. Don't just stop thinking at, I'm gonna get my credit in place and then I'm going to buy me a house, I'm going to buy me a car. We're not telling you that you should do your credit to go and make more debt. We're saying get your credit up so that you can, number one, save money when you do go shop, okay? Number two, you can use that credit to build assets, income producing assets, okay? You can go and get, just say for instance, I do business credit, okay? If you didn't need, you would, to get a business loan or get funded and bypass building up your business credit score, which is a whole nother subject. Do you know that if you have a 680, you can go straight to funding and get up to $1 million to fund your businesses or your project? You can get funds if you want to buy real estate, because we have the 3 C's in place. You have, as long as you have cash flow, collateral, and credit, you would get a chance to make some wealth moves. So there's a greater purpose to you getting your scores in place other than creating new debt. Only thing we want to do eventually is get to the point where we use somebody else's money to make money. Okay? We can go to a bank, get a loan to go buy some property, make whatever investment you want to make, but yet you took somebody else's money and your cash is actually growing from their money, and you have money to pay them back, and it's going to keep you in place. It's going to keep you in shape. It's going to be where your future retirement is great, and you can create wealth, okay? All right, now I'm going to be quiet. That's pretty much all that I wanted to do on this particular lessons. What I'm looking for are people who actually get started, and our next call as far as credit is concerned will be about you reporting in your activities, and actually if you can ask questions and that'll help you, then we're willing to do that. This is the forum to where we can do that. No judgment zone here. We'll talk about it and help you get things done. All right, now I'm going to open the line for question and answer session. So, and interject any knowledge or what you think about the information we have. All right, so go right ahead and open, unmute if you want to, and either share, ask questions. If you've been looking at your credit, if you've gone bankruptcy, whatever it is, I'm here tonight. I'll give you about 15 minutes to do that, and we'll be done for the night.
Hey, Clarissa,
Yes,
this is Sheree.
yes.
Going back to your personal statement on your credit report,
Okay.
I was always told that if you have something like identity theft that you've experienced in the past, which I have, I've had my credit identity stolen 3 or 4 times in my adult life. And one time early on when I started adulting, and they got my checkbook out the mailbox when they used to send you those, and they set up different accounts. And so it took a while, and I was always encouraged to put a personal statement on my credit report about, the identity theft. But tonight you said something about don't use it.
Mm-mm. No, it's really not that necessary. Even if your identity has been stolen, you can put an identity lock on there, a fraud. They'll put a statement that can't anybody get into it unless they know your password and so forth. But it's not necessary to put a statement on there concerning, your checkbooks were stolen and this and that. If that thing happens, you got a fraud system on most of them now, just like we have the
Right.
ID Defender. That's going
Right.
to take care of those things, and then they're going to put a little statement on there that is locked for that particular reason. But a statement is not going to make it a big difference at all as to what's going on. If you find something on there that's inaccurate, you still just dispute it and prove they got to prove that it was you. Okay, but it's not necessary.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Anyone else?
Ms. Pace, I pulled my reports. I think I can't remember what call we were on, but you were saying as it relates to student loans, when you pull your reports, that's a great place to find out exactly how much you actually have that you need to that you're in debt for. How do we go about addressing student loans and potentially removing those from the report?
Okay. Well, first of all, let's keep in mind that deleting items can actually lower your score. And there are some items you don't want deleted. Like I had somebody that had a report being reported, and this debt was paid on time, no missed a beat, and so forth. And they were saying, I know it's not mine. I never had that card. I said, well, listen, we're going to leave it on there. It's calculating to your history. Now, I said that to say this. On your student loan accounts, as long as if there are reports on there and they don't have any lates, they're not messed up as far as high balances and so forth, and they look decent, and you don't have any payments on there, you're not really worried about it hurting you just because it's on your report. However, if you have gone and each semester they give you a new trade line for that loan, it will bring your score down. I want to talk about the reason that people see that as deletion, okay? Because we're not necessarily deleting them, we want to consolidate them. Because if you have every student, you've been a semester for school 4 years, and every semester is a new trade line listed, then you've got several open debts on there. Several. That's bringing your score down. So what we initiate is consolidation. Consolidation of all of those into one will actually show all the rest of them, guess what? Paid in full. So now you got 15 debts that have zero balance, zero payments. You see what I'm saying? And I had a customer that when we did it, it actually raised their score 100 points. Because they had like this master's degree and stuff, they had a lot. And so what you want to do is if you find one that has, say, a payment being made, and you have it deferred, and it has $42 a month, well, that's going to throw your debt to credit ratio off. So you don't want it to show where you have a payment because you're not making one. You want it accurate. So at that point, you want to dispute it and show that there is no payment, it is deferred. So you want them to correct it. You don't want them to delete it. Okay? Now, if it's a case where you did have late payments on there, and say, for instance, you made some negotiation with another company, another servicer, and you picked it back up, got it out of poor standing, and it's been consolidated and it was with a new servicer, and that old one is still on there, that's the one you want deleted. I said all that to get to that, okay? Because I thought it was necessary. So those are the ones you want to have deleted particularly because they're showing. And so it's inaccurate because that debt was paid in full. Well, guess what? When it's done with, it's out of their office. They're generally not going to respond anyway, and you can have it deleted.
Okay.
Now, did I answer your question?
Yes, ma'am. I think I need to send you a copy of my report so I can get a real good understanding of what I need to do and how I need to properly attack this.
Okay. All right. That'll be fine. All right. Anybody else?
So yes, when it lists your previous addresses, if some of those addresses are incorrect, are those things that need to be wiped off also, or is that not crucial?
Yes. If it's connected to a negative item, okay, I got it pulled up right here. A potentially negative item, and you see that this creditor name and the address is incorrect, you can dispute it that you have never had a debt with Maine County Clerk at this address. Please delete it. You got me? Because
oh yes, I got you.
Yes, please verify the address or so forth. Because what's going to happen is, if you got some late payments and stuff on the book, that's not the stuff. You're not lying. The address is not correct. But so it's going to wipe the whole trade line out.
Oh, okay.
Got me?
Yes, I got you. I was noticing that when I pulled my reports tonight, and I ran some of them twice.
Yes, that's good news. That's good stuff. Because the objective is, the law says every bit of the trade line has to be correct. We hated that you had some late payments, but their address is incorrect, right?
Yes.
So voila.
So Ms. Pace, are you saying we want to remove any and all old addresses and telephone numbers?
If they're incorrect, I think.
If that item is negative, that is a direction that I would go in. Does that make sense?
Plenty of sense.
All right. Anyone else? All right. Well, this has been great, guys. I love talking about credit. I love trying to help you in some kind of way get this thing in place. I'm looking forward to 700, 800, 900. We can do this because initially, if you would go right ahead on and address those negative items, I'm gonna come in and then I can talk about ways to rebuild. But right now, I'm not going to talk about that until I get more of you making strides to get your letters done. I can talk to some of the ones that are doing it privately, but group-wise, you ain't ready for that if you haven't started addressing the rest of the stuff. okay? And I'm trying to get you off of the stomp, just like something is holding you back to move forward. All right? Yes, question, comment. Okay, so I want to say this. I'm going back to our website. I'm going to get out of the system. For those that are on the call that I cannot see, if you are in the, I don't think I can go back to my home like this. I might have to click in. Just a minute, you guys. I want to show you once again and encourage you to get with the person that invited you on this call tonight so that you can get a system in place that will not only take care of your credit, but will take care of your money situation, period. We are an income shifting strategy company that teaches individuals and their families how to create wealth. Okay, so you will say, I don't want to create wealth. I just want to be able to pay my bills. Well, proven by your poor credit right now, since you're on the call, you ain't been able to pay your bills. So you're going to have to start somewhere. And it starts with a strategy. Income shifting strategy will help you move from a negative cash flow to a positive cash flow by starting with one of the most expensive areas in our lives as American citizens. It starts with taxes. We've got to find a way for you to stop paying so much in taxes, and we have that way. Then we're going to show you your W-4 form. Hopefully you have it filled out correctly, but if you do not, we can show you how to get your money back into your household, give yourself a pay raise, and then dump that money into a debt elimination plan. So therefore you can continue to raise your cash flow, create new credit, and get to the point to where you can set up investments are also known as passive income to where your money is making money. If your money is not making money, then you're working too hard for your money and you're still broke. Every payday, robbing Peter to pay Paul. And even if you're not robbing Peter to pay Paul, you're losing money somewhere. If you don't understand these principles and you don't understand this direction, I guarantee you we can show you where you've already lost almost $1 million and you should be a millionaire. Okay? So get with the person that invited you to this call. Let's get you started. Let's get you moving aggressively to make changes to your personal finances. How many know it's time to do it? It's that season, and you better do it right now before Trump get into his second term. I'm just warning you. All right, guys, thank you for joining us on tonight. We have recorded the call. I will make it available as soon as it's uploaded to YouTube. God bless you and have a great night.
Good night.
Thank you, Ms. Pace.
You are so welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.